Hello, how you guys doing? This is Darianne. I'm just bringing you guys another quick video, and so hopefully you guys have been enjoying your week so far. And so this video is inspired by a recent movie that I saw. My sister and I decided to just take a Saturday a couple of weeks ago to go see Inside Out 2. And so I know this is typically a movie that's really, well, in some ways it's for kids, but I don't know, I think that it's major for an adult audience too. I remember when the first one came out, and it just had a lot of messages in there in regards to just how to deal with emotions and just different things like that. And so I was excited about seeing Inside Out too. And it was a good movie. I know I've seen so many videos of people, their reviews, and just how a lot of people could relate to the movie this time because of the issue of the anxiety emotion, which a lot of us know about, a lot of adults know about. And so I really didn't know too much about, or just really reflect on my life and look at my moments of anxiety before this previous year, before this past year. But anxiety was an emotion that I experienced a lot within these past few months. And so, I mean, that's not necessarily a good thing, but I just remember hearing a lot about anxiety, and maybe I had been in throughout my life, but just really never looked at what it was and what it meant. And so, but I know I experienced some quite a bit of anxiety these past few months, and just through the journey and through decisions and just having to walk through some things. And when I saw this movie, it was great to be able to relate, to see it. Again, it had a lot of positive things in there. And this video is not to say anything against Inside Out 2. Like I said, I thought it was a good movie to see, and that it taught some valuable lessons in regards to dealing with emotion, especially on the level of the teenager and so forth. But I noticed in the movie, and I wrote it down, the anxiety emotion said something very, very critical. It was very, very strong, and I don't know if people really paid attention to it, but I did. And the anxiety, first of all, if you guys don't know, and anxiety is like being worried about something, caring about something, being anxious about something. And I looked up the root word. If you guys know me, I looked up what anxiety meant in Latin, and just the root and the base of the word, it means to choke. So I want that to settle in, because when I was having, just some issues of anxiety this past year, these past few months, it was almost as if not that I couldn't physically breathe, but I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think. I was just so worried about certain things, and it was a lot. And so the anxiety means to choke, and to be troubled, to throttle, to upset. And again, this is deemed as a normal emotion that human beings have. So just like all the other emotions, fear, happiness, joy, anger, disgust, envy, these are all emotions that come to us as people, as human, as mankind. But a lot of times we can have emotions, and there's a way to not have to address or react out of the emotions. And so that's a whole nother topic. And so again, that's what I was saying with my only thing with the Inside Out 2. Just, I don't want to give the ending, I don't know if people saw it, but it just it summed it up as if every emotion is welcomed and has the right to do what it wants to do, in a sense. And again, we all have all different types of emotions, anger, just all kind of things that are good and that are not good. And so it's just the nature of the human. But I'm just a person that, just try to fight through not reacting out of some of those negative emotions, and not giving free reign to control the console or the and so forth. So anyhow, but that's another issue. But anxiety, when I looked up the word, all I needed to see was the word choke, and I definitely understand what that means. And I know some people who have anxiety attacks physically, they're physically choking and things like that, some of them. But the choking could be just something just inwardly, and like I said, just moments of you're so worried that you can't breathe, you can't think, and you just feel limited and constricted in a way. And that's not a good thing. Again, it's an average thing that, something that we go through every day. Not every day, but people, everyday people, is something that we can encounter every day. But it's just something that should not be accepted as ownership. And that's just my, this is my opinion and my perspective. And so, And I just wanted to share that to anybody that this matters to. But anyhow, so I'm going to give you guys what anxiety said to the other emotions, and this was something very, very tough. It's the anxiety said, fear protects you from what you can see. Anxiety protects you from something you cannot see. And this was very interesting because this was, again, this was a not so great thing because it said fear can protect you from what you can see. And so again, I understand what the character was saying, but it was a very dangerous thing because I know fear is a very dangerous thing. And again, I don't want to get too deep with certain things, but the reality is, this is, if we're looking at things from a spiritual nature, we have to. Fear is something that's in our nature to feel and to come up in our lives, but fear is a very dangerous thing. Lots of things that's happened in my life and in the lives of others because of the allowing fear to rule and reign. And anxiety made the statement that fear protects you from what you can see, and fear is in no way protection. The fear doesn't protect you. And again, I understand, in the sense of someone's about to, come and try to rob you, or you got to protect yourself. But that's not necessarily the fear that's causing that. That's just, just your rightful thinking and protection in a sense. And fear is a very dangerous emotion to the point where it does not protect. And I just thought it was interesting that anxiety made that statement. And again, the whole movie was about teaching you about what anxiety is. And the movie did not portray anxiety as this great thing. Don't get me wrong on that. But to me, it just kind of taught to accept it more. That you're just gonna have to accept it and allow it to, make some decisions in your life, and that doesn't have to be. Again, we are imperfect beings, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that we really need to take into account the emotions and some of these negative emotions that we feel, and sometimes we make responses, or we have responses and reactions from these emotions, and it could cost us a lot. And so to have fear disguised as protection is not a good thing, because again, fear is not protecting you at all. It's actually limiting you. And so again, I can do a video on this 30, 40, 50 minute hour video on that whole concept, and maybe I will down the line. And then anxiety disguised itself as protection from things you can't see, and that was pretty wild to me. And again, it was in character, and that's what we saw, that you get anxious and you start worrying, thinking that the worry is going to protect you from things that you don't even know, and you start developing in your imagination, already thinking about things that are going to happen because you're worried. And I'm telling you, that's exactly what anxiety is. And anxiety is not protection. Again, it chokes you. And so so I just wanted to share that. Like I said, I often get on here when I think about certain things, certain analogies that come up. I can be inspired by a situation or a movie or a news headline or just whatever, an experience that I'm having. And I just wanted to encourage you guys. Again, the movie was a really good movie. I think it's a good movie to see with family. You guys can kind of talk about, talk together. So parents can talk with their children about, what they think, if the kids understood. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a pretty deep movie, so I'm not sure. And there was a lot of young ones in there, and it was funny that we were sitting there, but it was other adults. But anyhow, I'm not sure if the younger ones really understood the significance of the message. But neither here nor there. If you had some older elementary age students or middle school, high school students, adults, it's a good conversation piece to talk through. And so, and as you guys know, I'm a believer, I'm a Christian, and so of course, I think of the famous scripture that God tells us to be anxious for nothing, but by prayer and supplication, make our requests made known unto God. And so God is definitely someone that wants us to not worry. Anxiety is definitely something that He does not want His children to have to experience. And so again, that's a whole nother route as well, that I understand that anxiety can come to us and we can feel it, and I have, but it's just the point of sometimes we just don't want to react out of that anxiety because it gets us in trouble, and it hurts us and it chokes us in the long run. So again, just sharing my thoughts on anxiety, because so many people responded, because anxiety is something that's a universal emotion, and so many people were talking about how they could relate. And I just wanted to give my little tidbit about that experience, about that the message. And again, it's a normal thing to feel all of those emotions that are represented inside out. And then there are times that we do allow those to respond. We do allow them to control that console or the switchboard. But I just want to encourage you to sometimes we can think about some of our decisions and think through, that, yep, I feel this way, but not to react out of that. It's just to be a great thing. And so again, I've had some times when I've allowed anxiety to take control of my console of the switchboard and some of my responses, and it hasn't been great. And then there were some times where I said I would not allow it, and things worked out for me. So I just want to encourage anybody that may be in a situation where they're anxious about something, worried about something, whether it's family, relationships, finances, purpose, health, you can be worried about everything, to not let that anxiety take you over, and to not let that anxiety control your console, to control your switchboard, if you will, of your life. So again, just want to encourage you guys, and I hope this helps anyone that needs it. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.